It's just objectively true that even in 2026, Drake has still managed to maintain his blatant, unapologetic overratedness. And to make that point, I'ma compare Drake to another peculiar case in hip-hop, Carti, who I feel like is genuinely a good comparison for a number of reasons. Both are very controversial, both publicly and privately. Both garner a lot of attention for themselves in the form of a cult fan base and just as much hate. And both are considered rappers solely because they are black. I feel like the two share a lot more in common than they don't. Neither make music that's necessarily complicated or masterfully curated or thought much about it all. Growing up, that always confused me how I could like someone like Playboi Carti and not Champagne Poppy. And after using my brain for a split second the other day, I realized what was obvious all along. It simply feels as though Carti encapsulates the spirit of hip-hop in a way that Aubrey has time and again failed to. See, even within Carti's own SoundCloud era, he stood out as pretty preposterous, refusing to rap any actual lyrics and instead repeating screechy ad-libs again and again and calling that a chorus and plopping all of that on some of the most angelic beats to ever bless my earbuds and calling it a day. But to define hip-hop as a genre, you kind of have to go and look back at where exactly it came from. See, fundamentally in my eyes, hip-hop is the result of mixing together a rap flow and tempo, for the most part, with samples of jazz, soul, rock, choir, drum and bass, whatever. As someone pretty opposed to the way that America does most of almost everything, hip-hop stands out as one of the great American experiments that did not result in the crack epidemic or the death of 200,000 Japs. And that is exciting. Hip-hop to me is by nature exciting and experimental before it can be considered anything else. What I believe that at least peak Carti got right in a way that the Iceman never will. What Kanye or Cudi or fucking Future or hell even Nicki Minaj knew is that it doesn't really matter how it sounds. Someone's bound to pay attention to it as long as it's new and different and slaps. So maybe not so much for Nicki then. Well, as long as it slaps or claps, then that's hip-hop, fool. No matter what you think of Carti as an artist or a bloke, there is no denying that dude is strange as hell and yet has a discography full of back-to-back bangers. He always made an attempt to do something unique no matter what. And even if his last album did indeed suck Caribbean turds out of Nicki's Brazilian butt, his wider discography and general sound are true to what I think makes hip-hop worth a clap at the end of the day. Drake, on the other hand, does not hold up to that standard in my eyes. I mean, his sound hasn't changed one bit in 10 years now, because he notoriously signed a record deal which means that he gets 100 times all the money he could ever need as long as he never takes a spare second to actually put some creative thought and care into his sound ever again.